All righty. Good evening. It's normally we'd be like good morning, but it's evening time for us today.
That's right. Some of y'all it is morning, but normally like you're
Yes.
saying, we in the morning, daytime.
Yep. So once again, thank you guys so much for hopping on with us today. Literally, we've just been running and been in conferences, so that's the reason why we had to postpone for this evening. But at least we want to come on. It's going to be kind of a little bit of short tonight, but we're going to just try to come on and talk to you guys a little bit about some of the NFT things. We've been committed to making sure we show up when we say we're going to show up, and we did put a notice out earlier that we would be on later, and so keep our word. We are here. so so let me get started with sharing this screen, and we can just talk about some of the things that were pretty big today.
Yes, some things that have happened in the space. Ooh,
This
especially
one.
for this one. Yes, for Axie Infinity to take this hit today. Axie Infinity Ronin Bridge hacked over 600 million. They are getting authorities involved, but they have been doing a lot of work in the background. Making a living for a lot of those that have invested in the NFTs. Some people that invested early have definitely made good amounts of money for this. And like I say, it definitely the play to earn aspect that they have definitely allows people to be able to make a living for where overseas in different places like that. So they were going to be doing some new drops also with some cards, but now since this hack, they want get the authorities involved and get this issue resolved. They did update some of what like. You can see some of the money in certain wallets or wherever it may be. If you want to go in more detail on that, but yeah, it is a major. It's like the biggest hack they would expect that's happened in this space so far, and so you do hear people wanting regulations when you see things like this. As much things people do like to be, especially in blockchain anonymous, you don't really want people knowing who you are. But at the same time, when you're in a business same aspect and you have funds like this stolen, you want to be able to recover those funds. So
I was like 173,000 Ethereum.
hundreds, that's
So
just
I was
amazing.
like, oh wow. And it was weird today because like when I'm at the NFT in LA conference, and it was like the first person that I think that came on the stage that was talking was the Axie guy,
That's right.
and I was like, wow, that actually. And I mean, and I commend them because, like I said, most people would have been like, hey man, I'm not even going to go out there and talk to the people. This is like it's a lot. I mean, again, you're looking at $612 million. That's not like you like, well, we lost like $1 million. No, we lost like $612 million. And so he was just really just continuously saying, hey, the authorities are already involved with it. And I think a lot of people who were there were very sympathetic in the sense that, because you think that you're doing so well in the NFT space, and you are like one of the top people that has supposedly has everything together. You have the extra support, and you try to do everything you definitely can to try to keep the stuff secure. And for it to happen to them, it's kind of like, ooh, everybody needs to be like really paying attention, because scammers are, again, they see if they can exploit something, and they were able to get 600. I mean, but the crazy part, when I read the article, I was like, okay, this happened. This was the only part that kind of like, I was like, this happened March the 23rd,
Hmm.
and I don't think nobody like recognized that the money was like gone for till somebody had gone to try to withdraw some. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
well, how did this happen? So, but again, not to make light of it, but it is one of those scenarios, as far as it is, it's challenging when you're in the NFT space or even in just the crypto space, because again, like Jessica was saying, it's just there's no per se, no people, and you're caught in both, because you have some people who don't want to have the authorities or the government or anybody involved with it, and then the other side is like, dog, but do you need them? And I know that even and I'll share some of the things even as far as what people at the conference were saying today, because it's you're like torn. You don't know which side. You don't want the government, obviously, definitely, to be too far involved. But I don't know one thing that would ain't nothing happened like that before in life. So that would be the only downside of that. But again, this was a big topic of discussion here at the conference today. People were talking, whether you're talking with other people, even at lunch or even on the breaks and stuff. They were like $600 million is a lot of money. So try to protect yourself as much as possible. That's Axie. All right, all right, and then you got the OpenSea one.
Oh yeah. Before we've talked even before OpenSea closing in on the support for Solana NFTs, we know they do Ethereum, Matic, and even there's one other Carlina, but there's one other one also blockchain that's over there that they support. So with them also now supporting Solana, we've seen Solana get support from different banks and other things like that. So for those coming in mainstream, and then also just having access to more NFTs on different blockchains is important. Of course, we know it's just starting out, so each one that is coming out and being built up, sometimes you're going to definitely see like OpenSea. It's meant to be an OpenSea for everybody to be able to get access to all NFTs. So the more blockchains that it does have access to, sometimes it is the better. People are still waiting for an airdrop for OpenSea. We've been buying for a long time. So I'm like, they get more money, to themselves, but we kind of still hoping that they do come out
Hoping
with
and like, can we just get a little, like a little smidget,
just a little bit.
a little bit? That would be a beautiful airdrop if we did it
Yes,
the right
yeah.
way, man.
Yep. And so yeah, so those blockchains that are coming in, that have lesser fees or don't require the Ethereum gas or have a bridge, is also something that's a bonus. Definitely, people, Ethereum's been quite low now. I mean, it's talking about
Oh,
$5 to
I'm
transfer. I don't
almost
know what has
nervous.
happened.
I have to double. I'll be looking like, whoa, wait a minute, that can't be the cost at the transfer. You know,
Yes,
I'm almost nervous. I'm
right,
like, I don't even know if I should say something out loud because I'm like, maybe they're gonna recognize if we keep talking about it. But
right.
it's probably the prices it should have been all this time. They didn't made enough money to where now they can just, or there's more regulation stuff and they can't keep doing the crazies they were doing.
Hmm.
So they didn't made enough money. So they're like, yeah, we need regulation now. Yeah, we a bit. So, but I know someone at the conference I was just talking to. They were talking about the Solano, moving over and how it was going to help some of their projects. But at the same, I mean, I think in Solano, there's some projects that are still definitely trying to do some things on the Solano network as far as or the ecosystem, and that's good. But again, it still has to. Everybody keeps saying, well, Ethereum is right now still the top one, but it doesn't mean that there's some of the other ecosystems won't come along and say, hey, you know what, we're here to play too in the NFT space, especially. But I mean, if ETH keep their price down, everybody might be in trouble. But we'll see how long this is going to last. So, all right, so that's that one. Okay, let's keep on moving. Okay, again, this was the NFTLA conference today, and I'll tell you, I mean, the conference overall has been good. I think there were some things as far as the topics, even as far as how gaming and stuff is, how they're still continuing to try to make wave, or trying to move forward in the gaming aspect. But even in the music, they were talking about music, the music there also today too. And they're definitely doing some things. And I know some people who somebody asked a question. They were like, well, what do you think about the people as far as how normally people who have all the power, whether the people who are in the music industry or people who just, or even in the movies that are out there, like, what do you think about the people who are going to be taken out of the equation? And they were like, we don't care no more. It's like it's time to keep moving, because some of the people who were there were trying to say we need to be able to control our own stuff. We don't have to go get permission from anyone. And so they're actually, you're going to find that a lot of actors and a lot of people who are in the music space are continuing to take ownership of their own stuff and creating their own business. And
Right.
so that's huge. It's
Right,
really
and like you
huge.
say, that especially that's the Web3 side of things. Now you're saying like you're taking the big tech out of things. You're now taking out the middleman of things. You don't need the record
Mhm.
labels. You don't need the titles of anyone behind you. Now, if you have a community directly, you can just be straight feeding your community and then feeding you. It's a hand to hand, like a partnership deal on a lot of these things, especially with NFTs. Your success is their success, and it goes vice versa. So like she said, specifically, especially in those industries, seen a lot of different apps that have come out and giving people those opportunity, but most people don't know about them just yet. And so when they do pick up on it, and even as she's speaking, I was supposed to be there, but that's a long story. It don't even matter. The
The
puppies,
puppies.
yeah.
Yes, her
And so
doggy had puppies.
yes, but even what I was seeing online, a lot of people are saying people in the NFT space, even there, they don't still know what an NFT is. They're
Oh
creating
my
these
goodness.
things and they don't even still understand the full understanding of the NFT, the blockchain, the utility of it, the community. So, they're just coming and creating an asset without still understanding the technology behind it and the power behind it, even being able to be operated on the blockchain. So it's funny to even hear and see a lot of the
Right
pieces
here.
that were made.
Look, this guy, and actually, I don't know who he is. But I just thought I should read you his. He in the here's the thing. There were speakers that were on panelists and stuff that were on there, and it was like even the panelists that were on didn't have NFTs. And so there was some backlash, in regard, not necessarily backlash, but there were some people making comments where they were talking among each other. It was like, well, if we're at an NFT conference, you would think that not everybody, but most of the panelists might know what NFTs are, and they might have some NFTs that they might have invested in. I understand there's certain aspects as far as you being a techie type person, and maybe for whatever reason you just don't know any. But when you're at an NFT conference, people were like, "We're here to learn. We're not here to find out people are don't know anything about NFTs." And like, we're here to educate, but we paid to come here.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the backlash. Some people were saying, well, hey, you know what? Some people paid a lot of money to come to the particular conference.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not that education aspect of what you would think that you would get when you're at an NFT conference, at least something as far as, hey, this is some new technology or things that you're on how we're moving forward. There were definitely other speakers that were on there that were very, they were savvy, they knew their stuff, and they were definitely in the NFT space. But that was one of the things. Because of, and especially with all the things that's going on, I would think that there would even be more information, even as far as how to secure stuff, or having that aspect. Where I don't even care if it was Ledger, Treasure. I don't even know why they weren't here or whatever. I'm not the host of this show.
Oh, yeah,
so maybe they didn't want to sponsor. I don't know what the situation is, but I would still think that when you're having an NFT conference, that those things would, and maybe they might be even on coming in up a couple days, but that was
only 3% in, 97% not. And those, and then like she's saying, there's no curriculum for it. Most of us, it's a hard knock life. We've trained ourselves, been putting hours and hours daily, understanding the market, been through it. Especially coming through the cycles of 2020, 2021, now to be coming in 2022. Knowing all that and moving through those, you kind of get the heads up to knowing how, no matter what, even if the market changes, you kind of know your territory in it. And so, like I said, 97% don't know NFTs. And so if that curriculum isn't there, we're trying to put a lot of stuff out there, but most people still don't understand even the basic fundamentals of how an NFT operates, the benefit from it in any different industry or aspect. So we love getting to start understanding, we know it's going to be affecting music, fashion, art, and that's just the minimum play to earn games. And so it's exciting to see, these conferences are coming, but like you said, getting the people that are actually understanding and knowing them. And not every, of course, conference is like this. We're waiting for the VeeFriends one too. And that seems like they have a lot of people that's very informative in the space, Gary Vee himself. So, but, it is hard to find people that's very knowledgeable, or at least even would know. You already know what they know. And if you feel like you know what they know,
You're trying to share, but like, can we share something? You give me something. Yeah, no, I think, again, it is an avenue where a lot of people that we definitely want more people in the community and people to educate. But when you are at the conference, you are kind of thinking that there may be some other things that might be there to help you keep moving a little further forward. And I'm not to say, like I said, not to say that there weren't things today, but it was people were like saying that, like, how you the panelists at like the beginning of the to tell us about the future of the NFT, and
you don't even know about the future of TA.
Yeah, you don't
know technology ain't nothing affecting it. You don't even know why it's there. You don't even know why you now have the opportunity to be in Web3.
But there are definitely some things that are coming, within the NFT space there, and I think they kept saying, a lot of people were even saying there, it's like, we're early. It's like you're early, and it's like, man, I can't even imagine everybody keeps saying that we're all early. Where is this thing going to be at if you've invested now, and moving forward later? And I know they were even talking about, even as far as some of the lands and stuff in metaverse. It's like that was one of the big topics today too. Is like, yeah, everybody's buying the metaverse land, but what are you doing on your metaverse land? If you just have it and you're not doing anything with it, you just got another piece of land. And so I think that's going to be important as far as getting ideas of how you can capitalize on owning your metaverse land. Is going to be a big thing. So, but that was a conference for today. So let's keep on moving. This was one of the at the conference today. This one again was I thought these were pretty cool. They had some picture frames. If you have any of your NFTs and you wanted to display them, They were pretty cool to look at on the wall. You kind of like, ugh, that's like they were really nice. And I know there's other companies that were out there. This was just like I said, I don't know this company. Have not bought anything from this
Yeah,
company.
I
Just
don't
sharing with you what I saw on the wall, and I thought they looked really nice.
know.
So I will be looking at some of these. Not to say again that this is the only company you can buy these from, but they were pretty cool. As like I said, especially when you start thinking about how people were trying to figure out how to display their NFTs and stuff. This was like they're all right. They're really all right.
Yeah,
So
because you say because NBA Top Shot has Infinity, and they've been pushing that one most recently. Again, if you want to put any of your NBA Top Shots on certain like these displays, and just check the difference between each one. Infinity and even like you
price,
say this one and other ones. That's right,
price.
and the size difference is important. One might offer a different size that you have. So yep, and you're going to see more and more come out. The more that come out, of course, the price can go lower. But in the beginning, since no one's doing this and even creating displays for them, another business opportunity for those who ever are coming out ahead and taking advantage of, being the first in the space to do it.
Yep, good stuff. So there's that one. Just wanted to share that with you. Okay, this is a FewoWorld. Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. World.
this one was
Been
good.
waiting for this.
Go ahead, Jessica. You
Oh
can get
yeah, well no, yeah, we've been waiting for the FewoWorld. Today we've been finding out more information in regards to it. We were able to pick up some pieces before they even made a move again, just with this announcement before the day before yesterday. So we're gonna a good little position. We did find out some of those
just say it,
NFTs will
Jessica.
give you
In our
access.
group, let's just say it. Just say it. In our literally, we when we first got the tweet, we were like, I was literally driving, heading this direction, heading south to the conference. And I don't even remember how the whole conversation, but it were like, listen, there was a tweet just put out. I was like, I gotta get off the freeway. Hold on,
Catch it down. I gotta pull over.
pull over. So we got pulled over and we bought some of the art and then we put it into our group. And we're like, listen, these are like underpriced right now. Literally, I think by the time they were able to buy them, some people were able to get some at around $1,200 to $1,500, $1,200, $1,700. I think was a price range that they got them. And then they had already shot up like the next hour. I think they had already jumped up to over $3,000.
Mhm.
And so that was a beautiful win. And like I said, I was like, we can't tell you when to take your own money, but
Yeah, that part. Yes.
out at this price. So
Yes,
that was
and then even to know because some of that when like you said we get on those buy those quick because also when when a world or something's coming out, usually those NFTs have utility. If the artist has had different artwork that has already come out previously, you're able to actually get access to some of those things that they've created. So those pieces do give us access to the FewoWorld. And then we don't know exactly what it's going to get us in that. And so we've always, definitely been watching Fewocious even from, November, talking about 2020. So Ben and Christie's sells lots of art. He does what he's doing. And then now, like I said, the shoes came out, the drip has come out. People have been waiting for the FewoWorld to start off. It's supposed to be another drop that's coming out also for the paint drops. And so those will be their own costs also associated with that. But we'll find out more about how those pieces that we do earn, what we can get with them once they start releasing more information. But yeah, definitely one we're still watching out for, especially knowing how, the artists behind it, what they've created and how they've made a name for themselves in this space already. And so we're excited, finally get to see what the FewoWorld is going to entail. Physical in world or what in real life events they're still doing and even offering for U.S. holders. So it's pretty cool the utility that comes behind with some of these things that you've already bought.
yeah. So this is gonna do some homework, do some research on this particular one. Okay. Okay. All right. So literally we was trying to figure this one out. So was it last night? I think it was
Yes.
last night. Okay, this was last night. I'm so exhausted. Y'all. I'm trying to be alert too.
Okay.
So these again, the Murakami. Everybody's been waiting for these to come out as far as the seeds to be able to go on and buy them. And I think some of us got emails as far as these are again going to be the Clone X's if you have the Murakami traits. Then you would the traits or DNA, I guess, whichever one you want to call it. You'd be able to go on and mint these particular items, depending on how many of the Murakami Clone X's that you actually had. We couldn't figure it out. It was like, well, is this a scam? All these doggone scams going out. We were like, we're not doing nothing right now
Yeah.
until we see some big people call and say that, hey, I'm minting these because there was no tweets or anything out at the time.
Right.
And I think again, we always talk about it's like you don't have to be the first person to jump in and mint something. It's like, wait a minute, just
That's
relax.
right.
But
Let
everybody
somebody else be the example.
yes,
You ain't gotta be the example. You better let somebody else do it.
because as soon as they came out, there was some that I think came out even on Rarible that were a scam. and they even dropped them into some of our wallets. And so I was like, okay, this is crazy. You already got some out, but again, scammers are gonna be scamming.
And they
But again,
wait, they be
and
waiting. They probably had
they
them already created, was waiting for like
they did.
they went through a quick copy paste and they was on it as quick as they dropped.
Yep. So these again, you were able to. If you don't forget, if you do have this particular trade, you definitely are able to go on and get these picked up. If you want to go on and mint these, I think they end up being about $300 each one. I think I want to say about $300 for
To
each
mint,
one
that's right.
to mint, and then that's if you. So if you have that and you're they were in your wallet and you did the allow list, then you could go on because it is like a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
If you own them right now, the floor is 6.6 ETH. You bought this
22.
yesterday for $300, and the floor is $22,000 overnight. So you have to decide what you're going to do. But don't forget, like I said, you can definitely go on if you have that Murakami trait. Maybe that should be. Can I see that? Let's see if I can find it all. Let's see real quick. I haven't even seen what the
Clone
Clonex
X
is
have
on.
been because you don't worry about it. It's there. You
I'm
won't even
like
worry about the
scared.
price. Yeah.
What
You
are
don't
the
have to check
Clonexes
it in
today?
daily at all.
14.5 are the Clonexes today. So those are the floor price. This is not going to be a Murakami one. So 48,000 right now on the on the Clonexes. So remember, if you have the ones that have is it the DNA that I'm looking for, the Murakami ones. This is at least one of them. That should I say? If you have any of these, and then there's another one over here under the
You got
type.
that buy now on there too. That's
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
not sure.
we're gonna get off of those ones. Let's just go to the type ones down here. Right here, this Murakami drip. So if you have any of these, I believe, and don't hold me to it because, like I said, I'm not your. I can't remember. Just this is going. We'll just go with this one first and see what the prices are. Okay, so if you have any of these that have in any of the different Murakami traits, then you would be able to go on and mint one of these. But again, remember, don't go buy if you haven't bought them. The allow list is already over. Somebody's probably selling it because they went and minted theirs or their other item already. So those particular floor prices are $68,000 if you have those. So again, take a look at that particular project. I think this is again going to be one of the another good project, but I'm not your financial advisor. So take advantage if you have that particular trait, you can definitely go on and do that. Okay, so that's going to be that. This was the site you could actually go there. Okay, all right, and then the last but not least, just the monoliths.
Oh yes, the monoliths will be revealing this week. Can't wait. They're talking about. You might think it's the end, but it might be really the beginning. A lot of speculation is definitely out there. A lot of different shoes are coming out. People don't know if this is going to give the right to certain things that's coming out. I don't even want to keep say speculations of who or what, but it definitely will be revealing this week. And so, if it's going to make a move, which it should, as long as people are happy with it, and it finally reveals, you should get a couple of more airdrops from this specific item, and it could just be as quick as for most of us, if you did already have some of these items, you got these for free. And so the next airdrops, there's supposed to be multiple airdrops that are going to be the first Nike artifact airdrop. So definitely we've been waiting for that no matter what. Yeah, and so this week we will have some reveal on what this thing does. Nobody knows. I'm at too many guesses. So
It's too many guesses because what was it on Twitter? I can't remember that. Was it Artifacts that put that on Twitter that you don't know if this is just what it's going to be?
yes, what it's going to be, what it's going to be doing. Um, yeah, and a lot of people have been, like I said, they thinking that it's the end of it, but then they said it was part of the future. Some people I said that's also one of the co-founders. They was like, "This is part of the future. You're coming into it," type thing. So you you know it's yeah. All I could say, especially even from the Nike people, their side of it, they were talking about the innovation that's going to be, how exciting some of the things that it's going to come with some of these things. So we know they're definitely doing something that's futuristic, something that's never been done before, even in this NFT space. We do know Nike's been pulling their shoes from stores and stuff like that, and so want to go direct to consumer. We don't know if the items that are created from this create royalties, and if you own items from that creator, if you get something. And so that's why I say there's a lot of speculation, but we will soon know exactly what is in the monolith and and how it relates to what we could do further in the project. So definitely excited that that's finally come, and we'll know some more of how much money is coming. But Yeah, I definitely said what's inside the monolith. It's the right question to ask. More on that once we've committed enough interesting thoughts below. So even if you interact with some of the tweets and stuff like that, that they see that the community is trying to figure stuff out, then they'll put out more and give you little hints. So read into the threads too, and hopefully we'll have some answers sooner, or we'll have that revealed sooner rather than later.
That was a tweet right there. That was a tweet. What's inside? Is that the right question? I'm like, I don't even care what the right question, because I didn't help y'all solve these equations. Not one. Not one did I help solve, because that's dog. I'm like, people are geniuses. So again, all right. Just remember again, I told you we were going to be on short. We really appreciate you guys hopping on with us. Remember, if you do have any friends or family, please continue to send them to whatsnfts.com. That is our free Facebook group, and then you'll be able to find us also on our YouTube channel, and then also on Twitter. But again, we are still here trying to give as much as we possibly can within the NFT space, because again, I think the way things are continuing to move, it's going to be big for us. So you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening, and we appreciate you hopping on with us, and we will see you all on the next call. You guys have a good one.
Everybody have a great one.